Alright, hello. This is going to be a series that I'm making mainly for my friends that want to learn programming, but you're welcome to learn as well. So I've just opened a Roblox studio. There's all these, but you're probably not going to learn much if you do anything other than these first three, because you're not going to, well, it's very unlikely that you'll understand what they have in here. So, but I'll be explaining it anyway. So, you boot up baseplate. Uh, this might not look the same for you as it does for me, but that's fine. I'll be explaining everything, and I'm slowly introducing each tab or window. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I'm not that much professional. Professional. Oh my goodness. All right, got your model. I don't even know what this thing's called. It's not very professional of me, but you know, I'm not a professional. Select, move, scale, rotate. We don't talk about transform. But anyways, you see, if I have select, I can drag it around. If I don't have it, I can't select, because I mean, it doesn't know if I'm selecting. If I have move, you can see, got the Y. I don't actually know what color is what. I'm going to assume this is the X and this is the Z. Hopefully you know coordinates. It's kind of like Minecraft. You press F3. Basically the same thing. Scale. I mean, just scales it, changes the size. Rotate. You'll never guess what that does. Anchoring. Okay, that one's actually interesting. So, if I have it in the air right here, so you can see right here it's anchored. If I click it, it's unanchored because it's not highlighted. But now you can see it's anchored. If it's anchored, it's not going to fall when the game is started. Whoops. Oh, I did Control Z to undo that. If it's unanchored, it's going to fall, and exploiters will be able to manipulate it. That's always fun. Right here, this just shows how much I rotate. This shows how much I move when I use these right here. Locking, prevent me from doing anything with it. So I don't know, I'm going to try clicking on it. Even though I have move, and even though I have select, I can't do anything because it's locked. I'm going to use I'm just going to unlock this. Wait, there you go. There you go. Okay, there's some effects. I don't even use this. You don't really need to use that. Make another spawn location, but pretty sure by default you're just going to spawn randomly on one, so there's better ways of doing that I might go over later if I remember. The home has also the toolbox, which I'll be showing. The test, okay, this is good. So you see there's play, and then there's this weird looking thing that probably is intimidating. Really all this does is simulates what a server would be like, and you get to play as two people. It's crazy. You get to test locally, and you can set the amount. But if you go click on local server, this right here. Oh, bruh. Okay, okay. Normally, there would be another pop-up for team test, but because I don't have it published and I don't have team create enabled, that's not going to work. So, but I'll be going over that, and yes, if you're overwhelmed, that's great. Okay, it's not that great, but you can rewatch it, and I'll probably be going over this again. This is just to get it in your brain so that it won't be unfamiliar to you when I go over again. Now this view, this is definitely intimidating. This is going to show all the little pop-up thingy-majiggies that'll pop up. So Explorer properties, they're basically necessities. Toolbox, it's for nerds. Well, not necessarily. Only if you're using scripts and stuff from it, but you will need it for images and stuff. I don't know. You can really search anything. You will find a lot of cringe, but this is Roblox after all. Audio, you can now do that. You used to not be able to do that. You can see the models that you've saved, recent models, your creations. Yeah. I wouldn't look at my creations, they're kind of cringe. Object browser, I haven't needed to use it. It's pretty nice, but just use the developer hub. It's much nicer. much easier to navigate as well. Script analysis, I don't use that. Output, this is real nice. I'll go over that. Asset manager, that's also nice, but you probably won't be using that your first couple months of scripting or just developing games, probably. But that's not to say that it's complicated. You just won't really need it that much. Performance. I mean, I'm not gonna need that. Task scheduler. What? Yeah, scheduler. Scheduler. Haven't used this. Probably useful. Script performance. Oh, that's real. That's really useful. But don't let someone bully you about your script performance unless you've got a memory leak, which just basically means it keeps eating up more of your computer and your code is not optimized enough to tell it to stop eating, and then it gets out of control. Well, more of the servers, and less of your computer. Just depends on if it's a server script or a local script. Speaking of those, let's get into scripts. So I have all this stuff popped up. Might seem a little overwhelming, but really, we just start with this viewport. I think they call it that. But I go to view, I can just get Explorer open. What is Explorer? Well, you got all this stuff, and you don't need to really know about that right now to know about the hierarchy. It's pretty simple. So you see this little arrow? Bam. This just shows what workspace owns, or well, kind of weird. Hard to get used to, but they call this a parent and all this children. It makes sense when you think about it. So workspace is the parent of camera, terrain, spawn location, and baseplate. Baseplate is the parent of texture. Well, if I get rid of the texture, you can see it's just smooth. But why is this useful? Well, I'm glad you didn't ask, because you're hopefully overwhelmed. Not hopefully, but screw you. Okay, so got a script. Oh boy, I'm coded, man. Oh man, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, it might be a little overwhelming at first, but it's real easy. So a lot of people game's got all this. So game is the parent of workspace and players, so I can go like game dot, and you can see everything that it has access to. But what is dot? I don't know, it's kind of mysterious, but what it's commonly used for is moving down the hierarchy. So workspace, alright, they made it so that you can just go straight to workspace. You don't need game.workspace, and I would recommend that if you don't want to get bullied by other people. You go workspace dot, which will check its children. So basically any of these. So let's say well, actually I'm going to create a part. As you can see right somewhere here, part. I click that, boom, it's created. Right here, look at all this. That's real nice. I can make any of that, but I don't want to because I'm lazy. I'm going to scale it up though. I have a plugin. If you're wondering why you don't see this, this is the front. That's really useful later on. But say I don't like this part, so I go workspace. So see workspace dot part, and it's a red line, which means you did something wrong. You screwed up. It's not gonna work. It's pretty nice. You don't have to play to find that out because it knows you're just. It doesn't expect you to be stupid. If you see a red line, it's not gonna work. Just assume that I've not been in any situation where red line will work. But why is it a red line? Well, you're just telling it workspace.part. That's like just walking up to a person on the street and saying cupcake. They're not gonna know what you mean. It's gonna get an error in their brain. So I spell local right, and I say local part equals this. Oh boy, I just introduced two words and whatever this is called. I know it's equal, but like there's a character. I don't know. We'll call it a character. So local. Why am I doing local? Well, later on I'll explain more in detail what local does. But for now, all you need to know is it improves performance extremely slightly when you do local. But if you want to learn, you can leave it as part equals workspace.part. So now, whenever I refer to part in the script, it will know that I'm talking about this part specifically. I think it follows the path each time. No, actually maybe not. I'm gonna cut that out. Alright, there was a cut because I said something cringe. But let's say I want to do something with a part. So I go part dot. Well, it doesn't have any children, so what I'm going to do here. Well, actually, before I explain what part dot has access to, I go to properties. Boom. I'm explaining it before I explain it, which means I'm explaining it. Part dot properties. Oh boy, look right here. I'm going to resize. Look at all these properties, man. What am I going to do with all this? Well, you're probably not going to do much with most of it. I mean, it will definitely come in handy. Reflectance, transparency. You see appearance, data, behavior, part, assembly. When I first started out, I thought I had to go part dot appearance. No, you don't. This is just organized so that you can see. You just need to go directly to it. So I'll give an example. So I go part dot. So now I'm checking inside of part, which also checks its properties. It checks what it has access to, essentially. So part dot transparency. Transparency equals. You can think of equals as is now. Might be weird, but I'll explain why you want to think of it as is now. So part dot transparency is now 1. 1 means it is fully transparent. 0 means it is not transparent. 0.5 would mean it's in between. And you probably are making a really dumb obby. I don't know. Not really many people will just do 0.5. Oh boy, where'd it go? Oh yeah, that's right. It's transparent. And you know what? I'm gonna be cringe. I'm gonna do 0.5. Oh, I have Asset Manager open. I don't need that. Alright, boom, bada bing, bada boom. Right there, it's a ghost. You've made yourself a spooky ghost, my man. Now, that's also the reason why naming and having an organized workspace is insanely important. So I insert object folder. Yes, I did that really fast. I'm going to delete it. So I right click, insert object, click on that. You can search what object. So I can say, I don't know. Okay, they don't have that. So I'll go folder. Boom, I got a folder. What do folders do? They just make them more organized, makes it nice. So I go, I don't really need this. Now, this is a really terrible idea to rename something with spaces, because think about it. If I go, so now part, okay, gotta slow down. If you see part equals workspace dot part, it's not gonna know, because part is not a child directly of workspace. So here, I'll just make a folder so this is easier to understand. So I would do workspace dot folder dot part. But the reason why this is a terrible idea with spaces is because you can't just do part equals I don't really need this. Look at this. It has no idea what I'm doing. It's because it doesn't like spaces. When you're dealing with this, you just don't want spaces. So, but there is actually a way, but I don't recommend it. You do workspace. I don't really need this. And if I said all that perfectly, it's case sensitive as well, then it should be transparent. So let's see if it works. It works. See the bottom through it. But I don't really recommend doing this, and there's a much better way of doing it that I'll go over later. So you probably want to keep your folder something like don't need. Dang, I don't know why it looked like that. And also, I'm not using apostrophe because, you know, you can't really get away with that. Part doesn't know. They don't like apostrophes in names unless it's a string. What is a string, you may ask? I'm glad you asked. A string is text, alright? You can put whatever you want in there unless it goes against what Roblox wants, which in that case your game's going to get taken down because they will look inside your code. So if you put a naughty word in there, they will take down your game. Obviously, writing down spoiget is not going to work because it's just like walking up to someone saying spoiget. So you have to call it. I'll just go string because now I have my string. Now we get to the important part, print. Print. It is not going to access your printer and print this. This is just going to put it in the output. So I'm going to print hello world because it's cliched. But I'm not going to be able to see it because I'm going to get a command bar. You don't need that right now. Output. Boom. Now I can see. I resize it. Look at all those errors from all the plugins that are outdated that I have, which you don't need to worry about. Plugins you can worry about later. Oh boy. Oh yeah. As you can see, I renamed the folder to don't need, and I did not modify the script. Oh, I guess I did. I didn't go workspace dot don't need dot part. And I am changing it in game right now. And the reason why it's not magically working is because this only runs once. It runs as soon as it can, as soon as it's loaded in. It runs from top to bottom. So if I put this here, it's not going to work. And I'm using Control Z to undo all that. I wouldn't be completely dependent on Control Z because if you go somewhere else, do something else, it probably will forget what you did. But as at some point, oh boy, this is real bad for. Okay, why didn't it print, you may ask? Well, you see, or I'll stop it. It'll revert the changes. Oh, it's not reverting the changes. Okay, I guess it's because the script is done running or something. Well, before it was just workspace.part, but workspace can't find part, which means its brain explodes. So workspace.don'tNeed.part. Now its brain is safe in its computery skull. So now if I go here, where is it? Hello world at the very top. Ignore this red. This is just an error. You'll get used you're gonna get used to it. Normally you don't want to see this, but yeah, I should probably just get rid of all these. Let's see, plugin tool, plugin, UI rig edit. Yeah, it's all plugins, so you don't got to worry about that. But just if this does happen and if you have a plugin installed, it's probably that. But just read it carefully. So hello world, it prints it. Boom, right there. Stop. I'm stopping it. No more. String. Boom. Put anything legal in there. Now, I wouldn't go print string. Why? Because string is a string. Stringception. So I'd have to go here. I'm accessing the variable, and the variable is this. So now it should print pointed something like that, whatever I called it. And as you can see, it did. Wonderful. How am I going to make a game with printing? Well, printing is mostly for debugging. What is debugging? Debugging, getting rid of bugs. So when you don't know what part of your script isn't running, printing is extremely useful. And I can see right now you won't see how useful it will be, but once you start working on like actual projects, it's really useful. So yeah, that's basically all there is to that. I would just recommend doing a lot of exercises, trying to really understand this, because for some people they just can't understand. Like part equals workspace dot. Oh, what do I do right here? Oh, that's right. Don't need dot. Oh, what do I do right here? Part. Oh, I did parent. Hey, that's actually good time to try that. So if I let's see, what could I do? Now this is extremely inefficient, but this is just an example. Why does it tab to that? I can start typing and I press tab and it'll autofill, but I would not rely on that because as you can see, 2 times in a row it double crossed me. So don't need so it's going workspace. See, workspace to don't need, because I'm using dot, accessing what it has access to. So dot don't need, dot part, because I see it has access to part. Dot parent. Bruh, going back to don't need. Alright, now we're going to do something fun. Destroy. How'd I do that? Boom. Colon. Now look at this. You can do so much juicy stuff with this. Get attributes. Yeah, there's a thing called attributes. As you can see right here, no attributes been added, so it's going to be kind of bad. It's going to return a table. What is a table, actually? I'm glad you didn't ask. So, we go here. Boom. Joe. Mama. As you see, I put a comma, because otherwise it would not know what where Joe is and where Mom is. It would be very confused at who Joe Mom is, what Joe Mom is, what its purpose is. Its brain would definitely explode, so make sure you keep them commas in here. I can also just have don't need in here, because, I mean, it knows what it is. But this is basically, I guess they call it a table, also call it an array, but table, you know, think of it like you're just putting stuff on the table. This is all on the table, and it will grab it later. How do I do that? Well, actually, wait. Well, I mean, you know how to do it, but there is a problem here. Can you see it? You can't, because you're a noob. Table. Boom. Now it knows what my table is. I go table, so now I get the index, so I go 1, that would be Joe. Wait, oh yeah, and I'm not doing anything, so I just print. Here we go. So it'd be accessing the first thing in the table. If this was Python, it'd be 0, and I think Java as well, but you don't need to know that. You go table. I'm just flexing on you. Table 2, that'd be Mama. So I mean, what some people would do, which would be very inefficient, would be print table 1. Also, variables, you really don't need to name them anything. I could just name this Joe Mama. Well, then there'd be a problem because it doesn't know what table is, so I'd replace this. Bada bing, bada boom. I was going to save. It's good to get in a habit of saving. In fact, I'm going to save right now. I'm going to, so you could save to a file, but that would be kind of inconvenient because you have to open the file each time, replace it, blah, blah, blah. So I just like to publish, let Roblox know what I'm doing, give them full access and depend on their servers to be active for me to work on it. Let's call it tutorial, because, I don't know, gotta pretend like that was on purpose. Description. D's. Alright, I'll say E's because D didn't work. And I'm going to let this only work on computer creator. So you can change this to if you're in a group and you have access to creating games and stuff in it. It depends on your role. Boom, it's published. So no tutorial. I can save now. And now if I exit out, which, I mean, if I did, you'd see my very cursed desktop, so I'm not going to do that. No one's allowed to know. No one's allowed to know. So I press play. Why'd I press play? Oh yeah, Joe Mama. Joe, because it printed the first thing in the table. Mama, because it printed the second thing. Dang, that's nice. Dang. Now, if I printed the third thing, it's just so big brain that it knows that it's talking about don't need. And even though don't need is not a string, it knows its name. So I'm pretty sure that it's just going to print your Mama 303. Pay attention to what kind of thingies I'm using because they are very important. A lot of mistakes you'll make early on are likely going to be due to not using the right kind of, I don't know, brackets. Squiggly brackets, square brackets. You gotta know. But if I print 3, it actually prints don't need. Even though it's not a string value, it's so smart that it knows I'm just talking about the object, and the object's name is don't need object. But tables, those are really nice. So now you know a lot. Actually, you probably just forgot everything. Watch the video again if you need to. I'm gonna make it real speedy. Like, your brain is not gonna be able to remember this. You're gonna have to watch it a couple times. But this is just the basics, the real basics. Something fun you can do is change the, oh, where is it? I think it's behavior. No, data. Let me find it. Assembly. You can change its velocity. Angular would be rotation. Linear, I think it'd be rotation. And then linear would just be like and going up and all that. That you could mess with that. If you change the velocity and it's anchored, when you touch it, you'll get launched that way. But if it's not anchored, the part will just go wee, oh, hold on, wee, and then fall back down, and you won't see it because you're loading in. Something you can do is wait. Yep, that's what you do. Lowercase w. And then give the amount of time, and yeah, you can go 0.5. It's not intimidated by the period, the dot, but it doesn't mean 0's 5, like 0's x is 5. No, it knows what a number is. It's not small brain like you. So I can go part equals, oh, well, okay, now I'm gonna start, now that I've introduced variables, now this is a better way of doing it. Local part equals workspace dot don't need dot part. Oh, I did parent. It doesn't know sometimes. Alright, now if I wait half a second, it's not gonna know. I mean, you're not gonna know, you're not gonna see it, so I'm gonna wait a solid 5 seconds. And part dot, let's see, let's see, assembly letter equals vector3.new. Now vector3.new, boy, what did I just do? Okay, well, I got its velocity. What's a vector3? You know Minecraft coordinates? Yeah. Now you know what a vector3 is. You don't know Minecraft coordinates? Well, that sucks, because I'm not going to explain them. Well, you know what, screw it, I'm going to explain it. So think of it as each one has an axis. This is x, this is z, and then upwards is y. So if I want to go really high, I'd have a high y. If I want to go really low, I'd have a negative y. But I'm going to change it to 0, 100y, and then 0z. And I always forget what direction is what for the bottom. But that's fine, because it ends up working anyway. So I'm going to press play. There you go. It waits 5 seconds and it launches itself up into the air. I'm not going to make any more comments on that. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of useless. But, I mean, you could really make an obby stuff with this knowledge, but I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to be like, I don't know, some movie that has some guy getting knowledge. I'm going to be like Homer Simpson. You are Homer Simpson now, the most knowledgeable man on the planet. Now I'm going to do something fancy. I'm going to do part destroy. Holy moly, what is this colon? You saw me trying to do it earlier, unless I cut that out. Boom, destroy. Now why on earth am I not doing destroy part? Why am I not doing that? Because they didn't make it that way. They made it so you have to do part destroy. This is what you have to do. You have to get the part, get whatever it is. You, to be honest, I could probably do workspace destroy and see what happens. But I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait 5 seconds. It's probably not gonna have like permission, but we'll see if it does. All right. The reason why I didn't. Yep. Parent property of workspace is locked. So you can't do anything in workspace if you get excited. But there is something you can do. So if you don't want, if you still want to cause the same chaos as you would, you just do workspace clear all children. All of them. It's like Anakin. That's what you're doing. So I'm going to die soon. And there we go. Actually, dang. All this stuff is locked though. You can't destroy that, I guess. Roblox really likes to make it so that you can't just commit die on your games. I'll drag this guy back. But let's say you want to repetitively set the part's velocity. This is extremely unorganized, by the way. I mean, you just have to deal with it. Let's do wow true do. What is this conditional statement operator thingamajig. I think that's what it's called. Well, while true, do. So it'll run this while true is true. So basically, this right here, it will check if it's true, and if it's true, it'll do it. So that's all what while true does. Oops. If you put true in there, well, I mean, true has to be true, so it'll do it. But if you do while false, false is not true, so it's not going to do it. Now, it doesn't have to be specifically true. Part exists, so it's true. One, okay, remember what I said earlier about these equal signs? Is now, remember that's is now? Well, if you put two together, is now equivalent. Boom. So while part is now part, that doesn't make sense because you're telling it to make part part. But if you do part is now equivalent, then it's like, oh, I got you, I got you. So if I do this, it will crash me. Why will it crash me? Because it doesn't know when to stop. This man has no boundaries. So it's going to print Joe to the end of time, and if it was a small brain, it'd probably crash a real computer, but Roblox is big brain. So I'm not going to do that. Well, actually I am, but I'm going to add a wait. It's got to pace itself. So now it's going to print Joe every second. Which, I mean, if you're a sick maniac and if you don't want exploiters looking at your output, you could do something like that and run it a lot more. But as you can see, there is no end to the amount of Joe. But that's not what I want to do. I want to do part dot linear velocity or something. Yeah, assembly linear velocity. They like big names. I personally, some people just go like name part P, but I like to name it the whole thing because if someone else reads it, it's a lot easier to understand what they're talking about, and it's a lot easier for me because I have a small brain. But oh yeah, you can also check inside the velocity. You can go even deeper. It's like Ant-Man and wait, yeah, Ant-Man, and he's like going even deeper into the molecules and then the quarks and stuff. But there's magnitude, unit, X, Y, Z. You can get the specific things out of it if you want. But that's not what I want to do. I want to make it a vector3.new. Think of .new as just saying, I know you're ordering it from vector3. Vector3 is like your supplier. New is just giving it to you. And so now if I want to, you cannot just do this. Bam, bam, bam. That's not going to work. Even though I don't think there's anything else that would use this unless you made a custom, unless you made a function. It still doesn't know because you gotta tell it vector3. You gotta give it the knowledge. So now it knows vector3. Why vector3? This is a vector, this is a vector, this is a vector. There's three of them. New, it's created one. The velocity is now the new vector. Bam. Bam. I'm gonna save. And actually Roblox has a script timeout. So that's real nice. So let's see the part. Oh, look at him go. He's a little bouncy boy. I'm just fat and heavy, so it tries bouncing, but it just bounces off me. But anyways, boom. Wow, good for you. You made something repeat. You're really learning, man. Well, we can take it further. Let's say local number. Yeah, numbers are scary. Equals 0. I can do number equals number plus 1. When I first learned scripting, I was thinking, dang, that's big brain. How am I going to add if I don't know what I meant? Whoa, oh. It is itself plus 1. That's all addition is. But that's outdated. Unless you're a plebian, you got to do plus equals 1. So just to make sure, see, this is where printing comes in handy. I go print number. As you can see, it's going up. There's no stopping this number. But let's say I do want to stop. So I'm going to do while number is less than 10. Or, no, just because I'm going to show you, is less than or equal to 10. So if it is this, then that would be true. If it's not that, then it would be false, and that's why I would stop. And then the while would be done, and I'll print all done, even though I don't have to, and it's just, I don't know, because I want to really show you how loops and stuff work. So while you do a loop, it's not going to keep reading. It's going to keep doing the loop until it's done. So 9, 10, 11. It's doing 11 because I did equals, so it ran one more time. But it's all done. The script's done running. My poor little part has died. It's given up its fight for life. So be careful when you do this, when you do a while loop, because if you have anything after that you want to happen while it's doing the while, then that's not going to happen. There is something you can do. It's really complicated. Well, not really complicated, but you're too small brain to understand. It's like coroutine.wrap. Oh, I'm gonna spell it. Who's a small brain now? .wrap, and then function. I mean, really, this is an option for you, but I really doubt you'd want to do that right now. But I mean, you do that. Let's say I'll print cringe, bruh. Oh, you also have to do the function. Listen, I'm just doing this to flex on you. But you do that. As you can see, it says cringe, bruh, while it still happens. Yes, you don't really need to remember that. I'm just showing this to you so that you know that it's out there. Oh, bro, I didn't even tell you about end. My bad. My bad, B. I think they say B. Kids these days. So why did I put an end here? Why did I put an end here? Well, I mean, if I didn't have an end, it would just go, okay, while it's true, let me change this velocity. Oh, let me increase this number. Let me print this number. Let me do this. Okay, let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do this. Let me. And it's not going to stop. It doesn't know when to stop. You need to tell it. End this right now. Think, machine, think. Nah, you got to do the thinking for it. It does the heavy lifting. You do the thinking. So that's why you need the end. And so if you're saying, like, I don't know, if true, you have to have a then. It's just syntax. Syntax, what is it? It's like machine grammar. Or, sorry, programming grammar. Programming language grammar. There we go. So, the same thing. It just does it once, though. It doesn't do it infinitely. It just checks. Oops, I dragged that. Just checks. And yeah, it's basically, it might even, I'm not quite sure if it does like the same, if it runs the same thing internally as it does with an if statement, but just, it works the same. If the statement you put in here is true, then it'll do. So, as you can see, in seconds, true was true, so it ran everything inside. But what I was trying to show you was you need an end. All good things must come to an end, and if they do not, your machine will explode. So, we made a moving part. That could already be used to make a small brain game, but we're not going to stop there. No, no, no. We are too advanced. We're so advanced that we're going to rename script to handler because uncreative people will call it that. I'm calling you out right now. If you're a weirdo scripter that's trying to pick apart my basic programming video that's not even supposed to be accurate. But anyway, you can change the velocity, and I mean, there's so much you can do. I mean, I've basically shown you everything. Psych, I haven't. I'm going to show you everything. Just kidding. I can't show you everything, but I can show you basically all you need to know to make a game. So Oh, I made that capital. I go local. No, I'm not gonna do it. Alright, I'm gonna show you what an event is. So, oh, something cool you can do. More space, dot, don't need, dot, part. I did parent again. 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 So, yeah, normally you'd make this in a variable. That's much nicer. I kind of was tempted just to show you that you have to make it a variable. That way, less people would have messy code. But you can just go directly to it. Let's go to anchored equals true. You don't even need to make a variable, but I would recommend doing it because it saves you so much. Like, let's say you try typing this twice, or you could just go. I'm doing copy and paste. This is much nicer than doing this, but like if it's a one-time thing, you can probably get away with just this. But I'm gonna do something real fancy, and you have to pay real close attention. So part dot touched. So actually, when you see this pop up, that means it's an event. What is an event? It is code that runs when the event is fired. In this case, touched would mean. So I'll get to. Well, no, you know what touch means. It means touched. Who am I kidding? So once you get it, how are you gonna run code? Well, you do colon, because I guess it just means you're doing a function. So now you could wait. If you do this, that means it'll wait until it's touched. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. And then I do connect function, bam. This may look like a lot, but I'll just clear it up. Connect. It's just a cringe way of saying, okay, I'm going to make it do something now. Inside of these, you have to put a function. So let's say functions. Alright, I may have made a little bit of a teensy little mistake before that would have been really cringe and would have ruined my whole career. So, local function Joe, you can do that. You can also do function Joe. I'm pretty sure using local is just as good. You got thingy one. Well, you can't call it one. Let's say Joe and then mama, right? Print Joe, print mama. I bet you can imagine what is going to happen if I do this. I go Joe, or no, sorry, I can't do that. Sorry. Let's say you are, and I go stinky. So you are would be Joe, stinky would be mama. You see the comma? You see the resemblance? Bada bing, bada boom. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, this is also later on in the video, so you might see the end. Yeah, you're stinky right there. Alright. Back to you, future me. So I don't do it. But there we go. To make this tutorial extra cringe, it's gonna print ooh woo every time it touches something. So oh, it printed it. Why did it print it? Because it fell to the ground. So now, as you should see, it's gonna print a woo every time I touch it. So it's getting uncomfortable now, so I'm gonna stop. But that's pretty nice. Well, I mean, what can you do now? Well, let me introduce you to instance.new. Boom. Explosion. Remember, instance, we're just reaching to a supplier and we're asking them to get us a new thing. And the new thing is explosion. But of course, it doesn't know. I think it's going to create it, but we're never going to know what the explosion is unless we get the nil parts. But I think that's only a tool. So what we can do is local explosion. Now here, oops, you actually have to do local because it is inside of a function. I think you'd have to do the same if it was inside of a loop or an if statement. Basically, if it's not out here and vulnerable, you're gonna have to do local. Why local? Well, you know what? I'm gonna do it. No, I'm not going to do it. It's too annoying to show you. But basically, local means it's localized. It's inside of this function. So if I go like, I don't know, print explosion dot name, normally, oh, well, it's still going to be, it's going to tell me, well, I don't know, explosion. It's like, I don't know, a hostage. It's holding it hostage when you do local. But when you do it out here, I mean, we're kind of a hostage to the world, you know. We'll just assume we can't leave the world. We're kind of a hostage to the world, so I mean, anything inside of the world, we still have access to. But we're still. That's basically what this is. All right. Terrible explanation. That's too bad. But anyways, since this is a hostage of touched, explosion is a new explosion. But the thing is, we don't know what we want the explosion to be a parent of. Why does it need to be a parent? Well, I mean, it wasn't that apparent. Get it? Joke. Well, it's not going to know where the explosion is. It's not going to know what we want to explode. And I want this to explode. So, explosion dot parent equals... Uh-oh. I forgot what dot does. Don't worry. I'll help you out. Workspace dot don't need dot part. Oh! Oh my goodness. He keeps hitting me every time. It's even worse. Alright, let's give it a play. Alright. Oh, you see something? Oh, I'm touching it. Why is the explosion right there? I wonder. Well, this is so you understand. You have to tell the explosion where to be exploding. So explosion dot position. This is just a vector 3 equals. Oh boy. See, I should have made this a variable, but I'm too lazy. Don't be like me. So basically, I'm not going vector3 dot new workspace dot don't need dot part position because it already exists. I'm being resourceful here. I mean, I could do dot new and make it extremely inefficient, but I'm not gonna do that. Here, I'll show you actually. Never do this, all right? Never do this, all right? I'm gonna keep saying this. Never do this unless you want to like switch the X and the Z or something. You see how inefficient this is? You don't want to do that. So you just do this. It already exists. You don't need to order it from home vector 3 depot. So now the position should be at the part. Oh man. Oh boy. I'll go first person for this. What if it lands on me? Oh, it's bouncing off in the distance. That's lovely. I don't even think there's a... Okay, well, we can go here. Hit. What is hit? Well, hit is a part that touches it. It has to be a part, or like a mesh, but I'm pretty sure whatever hits it is gonna have a position. So let's go hit dot position. Hit is not the hit position, it is the thing that hit it. So, you know, other tutorials will do hit, but I'll go the toucher. I know, I'm kind of creative. So the toucher dot position. I wouldn't recommend doing that. If someone sees that in your script, they would bully you. Get used to being bullied early on. It's gonna happen. So I go here, I blow up. But that is blowing up. Oh, where'd part go? I'm too lazy. Okay. So you click on this thing, you go to server. I can just drag myself. Can't do this in game, but it's nice for testing studio. Where's the part? Right here. You know what? No, I'm gonna drag the part. Come here. See, it makes an explosion. So the reason why it's not making an explosion at where they hit is because this stinking base plate is so big that the center of it is right there, and that's its position. If you wanted to do it at the exact position they intercepted, good luck. I know how, but I'm not gonna tell you. but let's just make them touch, and boom. So that's nice. Now the toucher's getting exploded. Let's also wait a second, and this is murdering me. Well, there are already so many ways you could optimize this script, like making a variable for part, which you should be doing, but I'm just being lazy. Look at me saving. Look how good I am. That's so cool of me. Alright. Where'd the part go? That's right. It destroyed itself. You know what? You're coming with me, bud. Come on. Papa's gonna put you in a nice place. Okay. It's anchored. See? Anchored. I'm not hovering over it, and it's still highlighted. Now... Oh no. I can't reach it. Don't worry, I'll help you. Oh. You know you want to touch it. Boom. And it destroys itself after a second. Oh yeah, now part's not a member of it because I kind of destroyed it. But that's a good thing I almost forgot to mention. It will touch a bunch of times. So if you want something to run once, you do this. Local, I don't know, thingy equals false. And you go, hey, welcome back. I did not just have an epic fail. So this is the debounce. Basically what this is doing, the first time it runs, thingy is going to be false, right? Then thingy is going to be true. And so the next time it runs, it's true. And so it's not going to be false, so it's not going to run. Pretty simple stuff. I'm not going to give you a couple seconds to wrap your brain around it. Because, I mean, your brain isn't that elastic. It wasn't really meant for wrapping around things. But, as you can see, I made it outside because this is not kidnapped by this. If it was kidnapped, like, let's say thingy was in here, right? I have to be local because it's inside of there. It would be creating a new thingy each time. So it has to be on the outside. That way it debounces. Debounce. Why is it called a debounce? You know, I really don't know, but I can imagine it's like bouncing a bunch of times, and you want it to bounce once. Can't reach that. But oh, we have to do it again. Oh, boom. And wait a second, it gets destroyed. No errors because it only runs once. And then of course, if you want something to happen later on, you can make thingy true. So you could be like, so instead of destroying, let's wait 5 seconds and make thingy, no, 10 seconds and make thingy true. So, if we play, oh boy, I can't wait to see it. Alright, let's go again. Oh, I missed, bro, that's gonna ruin my point. Okay. No, I did stop. Alright, you know what? You, Mr. Thingy, you gotta get a little closer. Listen, I know you're uncomfortable. It's for the demonstration. I will be disposing of you afterwards. Alright. Boom. Look at that. But, wait. I can touch it. Why can I touch it? Yay, I can touch it. Yay. Yay. Oh, this is awesome. Now, by now, it should be getting me again. But why? Because I set it to true. I did not set it to false. Why did you not see it? It was a test, and you failed. But that's basically the main thing. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Hey, is that Kevin? Hey, I'm back. Sorry, me, for making this annoying to edit. I have yogurt, and I'm not going to be eating yogurt in the middle of this. So, let's let's do a couple more demonstrations, and this is going to be your official introduction. So I'm going to put this in server storage. Oh, you said you're not going to need it. I lied. So, server storage, it's pretty simple. It's not going to, anything in here, not going to run. It's in stasis. It's been cryogenically frozen. So I'm going to uncryogenically frozenate it. So I go, so remember what I told you about events? Yeah, this is going to come in handy. Game, dot players. Bro, you said you're not going to need it. Too bad, you need it. Dot player added. You see? Connect function. Now this right here, you know how the thing calling the function like puts it in the parameter? Well, the thing that puts it in is player. Not the thing that puts it in. The thing that it puts in is player. You can name it whatever you want. It's just going to return the player. I repeat, you can name it whatever you want, but it's always going to put in the player in player added. So local character equals player dot character. A lot of these things you just have to learn. You look at the wiki, you want to get their character, player dot character is away, or you could do workspace find first child player dot name, because that's where their character is stored. But I would not recommend it. 1, because the player's loading in, so their character is not going to exist yet. 2, because this is cringe and you can just use their character. Equals player dot character, but we know that player dot character is not going to exist. So, or player dot character added wait. So remember when I told you about wait? Yeah, that returns it too. Pretty crazy. So it will wait until it happens, but it will also return something, and it's going to return the character in player dot character added. What does or do? So or reads the first thing, all right? And if that's false, it'll move on to the second thing, and if that's true, it will return that. So now I'm going to do character destroy. So now I just made my life miserable. I'm so sad I'm going to start eating some yogurt. Let's shake it up. Let's see my character, man. It's stuck loading and it doesn't know what to do. Bro, this is amazing. I figured out I accidentally made a way. I destroyed their character. Oh my goodness. Alright, but let's say I feel bad. Player load character. Let's see if I did that right. Hey, I load their character. Perfect. So, as you can see, these things, bro, what is player.character? Bro, what is player.character added? These are things you just have to know. And I'm going to use Opera because I'm a gamer. I go Roblox Developer Hub. You got a Discord. Alright. API reference. Dang, look at all this! You're not going to need most of it. You're just going to need a couple things. So let's go player. Let's see what we can do with player. And functions. Let's see. Get mouse. Ooh, I can get the mouse. No, this has to be only. Get friends online. You can make a stalking game. Get distance from character. Wow, that is really useless. But that's not okay. It's actually kind of handy. I wish I knew that earlier, but now I know. Has appearance loaded. Ooh, that's nice. Let's go to properties. Let's see what properties there are. Character! Hey, we remember that. Camera mode. Yeah, if you want to change the camera, I'm not going to show you that today. But we've loaded the character. We've done stuff to it. But I've got an idea. I've got a real mischievous idea. So remember that part we made? Oh, it doesn't do anything. Hold on. Alright, you know what? I'm going to insert another script. Normally, you want to keep it. You want to keep your games to have as minimal scripts as possible, so you have like one script managing all of it. But when you're starting out, don't be embarrassed. Even if people bully you for it, you just have to learn this way. But over time, you'll learn how to use less and less scripts. But for now, I'm going to be showing you how to make this part. Just how to make it this way. So, explodey. So remember that thing I told you earlier? But now I can do script.parent. Why? Because script is this, and this is the parent. So I can do .touch, connect function, blah blah blah. hit local explodey. I'll do an e equals instance dot new. Remember, instance I gotta order an explosion from instance. Explodey dot parent equals hit explodey dot position equals hit dot position. And script dot parent destroy. I'm not gonna wait to destroy it. It's gonna be fine. Why? You might be worrying like, oh, how's it gonna know if the script dot parent's there? Well, if it's destroyed, you're not gonna worry about it. And since I'm not waiting, I don't really need a debounce. Because before the problem was, when I'd wait, it would be fired multiple other times in the meantime while I was waiting, but then script parent didn't exist, so it had an error and it broke the machine's brain. But it's basically instant, so I don't think you're going to be having many problems. But I mean, you can always add one, I guess, if you feel like it. So now, local explodey part equals game dot server storage, or if you're cringe, you can do this game. Oh, oops. Get service server storage. I don't know why you do that. It's so weird. I mean, I guess if you're like looking through scripts and you're like, oh, that's server storage. I can't wrap my head around it. Maybe there's some performance thing. It's not worth it for me. I just like doing game dot server storage. But for now, I'll be doing this dot part clone. What does this do? I bet you'll never guess. It clones it. Exploit part dot parent equals character. No, I'm gonna make it workspace. Why should I make the parent workspace? Well, I mean, I feel like it. Exploit part dot position equals vector3 dot new. No. Yes, but no. Why yes, but no? I'm gonna do character dot head dot position plus vector3 dot new, and I'll explain this in a second. There we go. Probably gonna have an error because I don't know. I did it fast. Wasn't really thinking that much. But basically, exploit part to parent equals workspace. Boom. It's gonna base. It's like I'm just putting it in there, just plopping it in. Its position is that characters. Oh, I just moved that. Control Z. Character dot head dot position. Remember, character. It has head, and the head has position. Plus vector3 dot new. Dang! I can add vectors together. Yeah, it's really nice. Making for a lot of cool stuff. But I'm probably going to die instantly. Oh, is it anchored? It's anchored! Okay, let's unanchor that. Oh, it fell below me. But you know what? This is not enough for me. You know what I want to do? I want to do while wait do. Why does this work? Because wait exists. Wait exists. Now this is one of the least efficient ways of doing this, and in a second I will show you the better way of doing it. But for now, while wait is something you can do. But I would only recommend doing it if one, you want it to do it infinitely. I mean, I guess you could do break. Break. If you break, don't worry. You don't gotta worry about this. It's just done. So, you know, some people could do that, but I personally like to make a variable that's true and then I set it to false, because that way I can do it outside of the loop. So while wait one, so it'll run this now. It's kind of weird. So basically, when it does this, it reads the line and tries to see if it's true. Well, I mean, waiting is a thing you can do, so it's true. But since it reads the line, it has to wait. So it waits a second, and then it does all this. So I'm going to see if that works. As you can see, I do a little trolling to myself, and as you can see, they are getting real close. But you may be noticing a problem, and that is because I did not set. Oh no, I did. Never mind. I set it to the position. The problem is it's not where they intercept. So you know what? I've decided I want it to be script.parent. That will be much better. I just wanted to make an example that you could do hit. So, oh, that's nasty. So now, as you can see, it's an actual game, and you can bring misery to everyone. But this way is not efficient. Why is it not efficient? You can do something much better, much better. I'm going to introduce you to a for loop. This, well, okay. You know what? Let's just get it real quick. For I equals 1 10 do. Bro, what is this? Don't worry. Quiet. All right. This is a variable. I can name whatever I want. I can even name it that. Just no spaces, you know. I think it's a variable. Do Illuminati. Okay. Starts from 1 going to 10. There's another thing, so this is where you start. This is where you end. And this is the steps you want to take. So if I did -1, I don't think I'd ever get there. I mean, I could. Maybe it's smart, but I don't really do this that much. I just print, I don't know, Joe. It'll do that 10 times. I'm not going to test it because you can trust me. You know what? No, I'm going to test it. You can't trust me. It's going to error directly after, but yeah, as you can see, it printed Joe 10 times. So now, for I equals, psych, I'm not doing that. Alright, ready? For IV in pairs, game dot get players. Do bang, bang. I'm hitting you with a hard hitting one. Alright, so remember when I told you about tables? Yeah, so when you do game.players, get players, that is a table. And what in pairs does is it gets everything in the table. I would recommend iPairs if you know, I'm just gonna say stick to iPairs for now. Just trust me on this. I would explain the difference. You know what? I'll explain the difference later. You know what? I'm not explaining the difference. I'm explaining it later. I'm gonna explain it now. So local table, right? Equals this 1 to 1. All right, but I can also do table dot Joe equals hi. So for some reason, because my brain hurts, you're gonna use some meta table stuff. Now if you do table.joe, you're gonna get hi. So when IV in pairs looks through it, it's going to not only search, but for all this, it's gonna search this. It's going to search Joe, and I is going to be Joe. I'm pretty sure. I haven't really experimented with this, but I know if you do like table.joe equals this, it will be that. And obviously you can make it anything you want. I mean, I would recommend making it Roblox compliant. But anyways, that's why iPairs is good, because it won't search Joe and it won't tell you. Well, actually, it might search Joe. No, it's not going to search Joe. I is going to be the number in the table. And game.players get players is going to return a table of all the players, a list of all of them. So I can just do a little trolling, and instead of it being V, I can name it player, because this is the value. V is value, I is index. So I can do while wait 1 do. So for this is a real nice script. Now there is a problem, but it's not that big of a problem. It will wait. If a player's loading in, it'll give some of the other players a little extra grace. But as you can see, it epically trolls me. And if I go here, make a local server, you're not going to see the other one right now because it's on my other monitor because I'm so cool. Okay, this is the server. Oh, and this is one of the clients. They call them clients. As you can see, they're spawning on everyone. The other player is not having a good time. But I'm having a good time because I'm surviving, man. I'm having a good time. But yeah, that's it loops. Oh, where is it? Right here. It loops intelligently. I mean, I'll go over it a little bit more. Local table equals bam 1 hi yo mama. for IV in pairs, table do. You have to do it in pairs. It has to be like this. Obviously, you can name this like underscore, I guess, if you don't want to use it. And then V, like, I don't know, text. Just call it whatever you want. Print text. It's going to loop through this, find everything, tell me here. You know, how about you just see for yourself? It says yo mama. It says hi and then yo mama, which if you look at the script, that's the order and all that. You can do some fancy schmancy things. But in the meantime, congratulations, you know the basics and you can make a simple game. If there's anything you need to know, don't ask me because you can definitely find a video of it on YouTube. But this is the framework, I guess. This is the bones of what you need to know. And there are other people that you can go to that already have tutorials on it. It's over an hour, but I'm going to cut this down. Goodbye. This, like, underscore, I guess, if you don't want to use it. And then V, like, I don't know, text. Just call it whatever you want. Print text. It's going to loop through this, find everything, tell me here. You know, how about you just see for yourself? It says yo mama. It says hi and then yo mama, which if you look at the script, that's the order and all that. You can do some fancy schmancy things. But in the meantime, congratulations, you know the basics and you can make a simple game. If there's anything you need to know, don't ask me because you can definitely find a video of it on YouTube. But this is the framework, I guess. This is the bones of what you need to know. And there are other people that you can go to that already have tutorials on it. It's over an hour, but I'm going to cut this down. Goodbye.